Hello Wolfpack, we're here with an altcoin gem video. We released a poll in our Telegram group basically asking whether they wanted a Bitcoin and Ethereum analysis and a general market update or an altcoin gem video. So this is an altcoin iExec or RLC, which is what I'll be calling it in this video, RLC, that is on my list basically. Well, it's an altcoin that I think, like Wanchain, like I've done in the past with my altcoin gen playlist, it's a coin that I think has massive potential, and I think it's slept on a little bit. People don't really know that much about it. As you can see, if we jump over coin market cap here, we can see it's number 147 on the ranking. So, you know, it's not particularly high up. It's got a market cap of around 400 million. So, you know, it's lesser known. It's more of a medium cap coin, but this is a coin that I think has massive potential, not only, you know, by the end of the bull market, but just in the coming months as well. So if we just break into this chart right here, we can see we've got some very nice formations here in RLC. We had these sequence of higher highs forming here from February, from the start of the bull market, and we had the sequence of higher lows, as you can see if we draw that line there, that has kind of continued all the way throughout this bull market since February. We can see in this sequence of higher lows, this support line, we saw a drop down recently as Bitcoin dropped to around 29k, but we've actually flipped back above that, and as you can see if you zoom in, this wick here has confirmed it for support once again. So this support line is acting once again on RLC. So we've got some extra support there. As for where we're interested in buying, honestly, I think anywhere above this $4 line here would be a nice buying zone. Now, if I bring up some indicators here in RSC, let's bring up the 50 and 200 SMAs. So we've flipped both of those. As you can see, this flip of the support line for resistance, for support again, also coincided with a flip of the 200-day SMA, which is very bullish. So we're above both of those critical SMAs. If we head over to the bull market support band, we can see this is kind of our main area of competition here on RLC in terms of price action. We're pretty clearly bouncing between that bull market support band, and so that is a bounce between the 20-week SMA and the 21-week EMA. Again, once we break above this kind of bull market support band, which will probably come from Bitcoin, you know, firmly breaking out of the current resistance zone, we will get above that $4 zone, be able to flip it for support, and then we would have entered our buying area at around $4. So that's where I'm looking to pick it up once we've flipped this 20-week SMA in the bull market support band. If we take away these indicators, we can bring up the Ichimoku cloud. As you can see, we're kind of coming out of this Ichimoku cloud gradually. We've kind of flipped the bottom for support, and we're breaking upwards once again. Lines up with my $4 buying range. Once we break out of here, we'll be above $4. And then if we bring up the Binance MAs, which is what I use for day trading and also for short-term price action, we can see the 7 SMA, we're just riding it up for support right now, so we don't want to see a drop below that. Eventually it will come, so if this 7 SMA just keeps going how it's going, we'll just keep riding up the price until we're above $4, which would be great. From that point, we'll probably be expecting a drop back down if we bring up the bull market support band below the 7 SMA, a retest of that bull market support band, and continuation upwards. So I'm looking pretty bullish in the short-term price action. $4 is the major resistance zone as of current. As for support, we have that support line that we've just kind of outlined there, the support line that's been going on since about February. And we could basically label out any of these zones down here for support. We've got a very big support zone down here. I don't think we're going to reach here, about $1.50. We've got some support over here to about there. So yeah, just random support zones here and there, from which, you know, where we saw 29k Bitcoin around $2 to around $2.63 on this peak over here. So we've got a variety of support zones in terms of MA, and don't forget, in terms of SMAs, we've got support as well from the 50 and 100 and 200 SMAs. So we've got a variety of support, and we're just getting through that last little bit of resistance, and that's why I'm waiting for that $4 breakthrough before I buy into this coin. But what am I expecting when that happens? Well, let's take a look at that. We can see RLC here just in this bull market, and we'll look at the longer term on the coin market cap chart in a second. Just in this bull market, a few months ago we were at $17. So usually what you see here on most coins right now, if we just measure that out, that's 350% away from the current price. Usually what you see on most coins right now is drops from, say, just for example, $12 to $6. So, 2.5x, whereas RLC is a 3.5x. It's definitely got way more room to grow. More than a 3.5x, sorry, but it's got way more room to grow than other coins and altcoins in this kind of current market structure. We can see that again, bringing up this $4 region for just because it's very important. We've seen 3 rejections or 2 rejections from that zone so far, and we're coming up for another attempt. So breaking out of that and flipping it will definitely be a good sign from the bulls, and we'll probably be seeing rapid movements upwards after that. If we bring up the Bitcoin pair on RLC, we can see it's very erratic and spiky. That's because this coin is very spiky. It's a swing trading coin. Now we do have, as I said, that fundamental support line, but essentially, as you can see here in the bull market in 2018, in just 1 week, we saw a pump of 580% on the Bitcoin pair. So this is a coin that moves massively in altcoin seasons, and we'll probably just be expecting more pumps like that. I mean, we've got a nice rounding out formation here, and once this comes to a T, we'll probably see a cup and handle and then a pump. So that's probably what I'm expecting there. In terms of resistance, I mean, we've got a variety of resistance zones just at the peaks of each of these kind of pinnacles we've formed here. If we bring up the horizontal line, we've got resistance in all of these areas here. They're not very hard to distinguish. This is probably the major breakthrough zone. We want to be closing above where we closed here back in May, because that kind of coincides with where we closed in July 2020 as well. So if we close above there, we'll probably be seeing that rounding out pattern, the cup handle over here, and then a pump, because we've broken that resistance zone. If we bring up the coin market cap chart, we can see that we've well exceeded the all-time high in 2018. We've got some nice, yes, it's pretty erratic, but we've got some volume building into this coin here as we didn't see back then. And you can clearly see the higher highs and higher lows kind of being formed on RLC, which means that there's a lot of buying pressure gradually building into this coin. And usually what you see is a gradual uptrend and then a spike, as we saw here from around December to May. So what actually is RLC? Just getting into the fundamentals briefly, as we've covered the TA. RLC is a coin, a network that allows you to sell your computing or monetize your computing power online, while you sleep, whenever. Basically, you sell it to people over the internet on their network. So this is obviously a great use case. This is where the future's going, this kind of thing. People who don't have access to all the equipment, and you can just download it in decentralized fashion and use it to their advantage. It's obviously more cheap than buying the equipment themselves. It's basically a rental service for a decentralized network over the internet, essentially is what RLC is. And that use case has proven very useful to institutions and individuals, freelancers, etc., who need that computing power for whatever they may need it for. So it's definitely got a use case. It's definitely got a solid use case. It's definitely got a team that's working constantly to improve the coin. If you want to look into it, just head over to their website. It's a very straightforward use case. So where do I think RLC will be heading in this bull market? If we remove all of these indicators just to get a clearer picture here. Now, RLC reached its all-time high just recently, a few months ago, around 17 USD. It's 147th on the CoinMarketCap ranking. I'm not going to estimate where it's going to be on the ranking list because, I think that that's just speculation at that point. But in terms of, taking market cap into the equation, taking what's happening into the equation, I mean, Bitcoin reached its all-time high of 65K a few months ago, and my price prediction for Bitcoin will be 120K to 150K by the end of next year, the end of this year or mid next year. So that's a 2.5x, and then altcoins usually massively outperform Bitcoin. So if we're just going to be very conservative here, and it sounds like it's ridiculous, but this is crypto, things go up massively. Very conservative estimate for RLC, in my opinion, is a 5x from its all-time high at $17, which would put us at about 100 USD if I calculate this correctly. Yeah, so 100 USD. Now, what would I be expecting to do when it gets to 100 USD? All right, so if we just outline where 100 USD is right now. So that is let's see here. That should be a 31x from the current price, roughly 25x. If we measure it properly, it will probably be okay. So yeah, 26x from the current price. 100 USD is a massive psychological resistance zone. So obviously a lot of people are going to be looking to sell there just because it's a clean, even number. This sounds ridiculous, but it's market psychology. That's how it works. If you look at any coin that's approached that 100 USD marker or the $1 marker, or those milestones, there's usually massive selling orders in those regions. So what I'd be looking to do, on the occasion that we got to this point, I'd be looking to sell at around 95 USD before we hit that resistance zone. Wait for a breakthrough of 100 USD. If it comes, buy back in then. So you're sacrificing a little bit of return for the safety of not having a random 30% drop from a resistance zone. So that's what I'm looking for on RLC. Obviously, massive potential here in the coming months. I hope you guys have learned something about it. I hope you take an interest in the coin. Check out the TA and FA for yourself. It's definitely an interesting coin I've been looking at for a while. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.